Hello, IK here. Chapter 5, Connecting React to MySQL. Real data, read only. Introduction. In Chapter 4, we build the front-end structure of our application using React. We created components, used mock data, and learned how React renders a list of products. Now it is time to move one step forward. In this chapter, we will replace mock data with real data from a MySQL database. To do that, we must introduce a backend API. This chapter focuses on one goal only: read products from a MySQL database and display them in React. We still don't implement, create, update, or delete. We focus on understanding the architecture and the data flow. 5.1. Why we need a backend? React is a front-end library. It runs in the browser. For security reasons, React cannot connect directly to MySQL. Database credentials must never be exposed to the browser. Therefore, we introduce backend server that connects to MySQL, exposes data through an HTTP API, sends JSON to the front end. This is the standard architecture of modern web applications. 5.2, project structure overview. After this chapter, your project structure looks like this: my CRUD app, SRC, parent folder for components, parent folder for product list.jsx. App.jsx is child of SRC source. Main.jsx backend and server.js file in backend, package.json, front-end React, backend MySQL runs separately using example. 5.3, creating the React folder. Inside the root project folder, create my CRUD app /backend. This folder is completely independent from React. Initializing the backend. Open a terminal inside the backend folder and run npm init -y. Install dependency, npm install express MySQL 2 course. Enable ES modules. Because we use modern JavaScript import syntax, not require syntax, we must enable ES modules. Open backend /package.json, add type module. If exists type common.js, instead common.js type module. This allows Node.js to use import instead of require. Creating the backend server. Inside the backend folder, create server.js and this code, add this code. Here it is. You scroll slower and stop and look at code. I write this book and write this video with goal in my, with the target, with goal, with a aim in my head, that you can, that you have with this book and video total fundamental. And but every details you ask ChatGPT. How want you uh, ask you free ask ChatGPT, and you will have excellent tutor, because you will ask concretely with this fundament. You will ask concretely about any terms here, because explaining terms like in book before artificial intelligence, it created very uh, book Bible, and with very small letters. And today we don't need it. And this video lesson and this code all produce ChatGPT, but I must intervene, but that intervention is very small from my side. And what is interesting, ChatGPT remember in one window context, remember my intervention. And for example, this chapter 5 was created without my intervention. Uh, this code, what you can look on the screen, it is for your study, but you will not code. You must understand code, and because of that, you will communicate. You will ask artificial intelligence what you need, and you must understand that code. But you can, you will ask ChatGPT that create that coding CRUD for table products. Okay, it means that your goal is my goal is that you have fundamental, and you have a lot of terms what I don't explain in my video and my books, but because you can ask about it, artificial intelligence. You understand. When you understand, you can ask artificial create CRUD for table products, create CRUD for table customer, create CRUD for table departments, etc., in the future, in your creation of any application in React. Running the backend, make sure MySQL is running in XAMPP. 10 10 in the backend terminal, open in separate window of separate window, and node server.js. It is make running server backend, and if everything is correct, you will see MySQL connect. Server running on HTTP localhost, connecting React to the backend. Now we modify the front end to load real data, open app.js6, replace with this code. Here it is. Mock data is replaced with useEffect, and we here first time use state, all about useState, ask artificial intelligence, and about useEffect also. Get down, You see how we call component. This is syntax for calling component. And this is syntax for child of component. It is child of app.js component. Explanation of new concepts. State, useState, holds data that can change. Mock data was fixed data only for test. Triggers re-render when updated. Side effects, useEffect, used for loading data instead mock data, runs once when the component loads. HTTP fetch calls backend API, receives JSON, updates state. Testing the full flow, start all three, MySQL, backend, and frontend. Open this address. You should see real data from MySQL displayed in the table. If something wrong, ask ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence or other LLM. Okay. What we achieved: React frontend, Express backend, MySQL database, real data flow, read operation complexity. This is a major milestone. Why we still stop here? Even though CRUD has 4 operations, we stop again after read. Why? Students must understand architecture first. Data flow must be clear. Backend plus front-end communication must be solid. Only after this foundation is clear do we move to create, update, delete. End of the chapter 5. In the next chapter, we will implement create products. It is letter C in acronym CRUD. From form handling, post request, validation. Okay, if you know somebody that needs video like that, tell them about it. If you like it. If you need, subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.